first responders who were here were so busy pulling the living from all of this debris, they were forced to ignore the dead.
April 27, 2011. Dark clouds gathered over the past 2 days, and tornadoes danced to the tune of death in Alabama and nearby states. Little did the people of Tuscaloosa know that death, damages, and destruction were the uninvited guests who came to wreak havoc in their towns. The United States of America is witness to over 1,200 tornadoes annually. So what was special about April 27, 2011?
Well, we have seen some amazing pictures of the tornadoes in Alabama this morning, but these are some of the most incredible. Chris England.
A date that has gone down in history with lives and localities being torn apart. Professionals and experts in the Nation Weather Service and the Storm Prediction Center warned the public to prepare for a serious tornado outbreak.
The areas in red are where the warnings were put up way ahead of the storm.
2011 started in a surprisingly calm and serene manner, with the month of January witnessing just 9 recorded tornadoes in the United States. February and March saw an uptick in the number of tornadoes, with February witnessing 63 tornadoes, and the month of March seeing 75 tornadoes across the United States. 1 life each was lost in both these months, but this was nothing compared to what was to come. For people who keep tabs on the weather will know, April was a tragedy that won't be easily forgotten. Not 1, but 2 notable outbreaks occurred in this month, taking lives of over 360 people. The lesser of the 2 evils occurred between April 14th to April 16th, with few major tornadoes crossing areas near Mississippi, Tuscaloosa, Jackson, and Alabama.
Good evening. The tornadoes came at the most dangerous time possible during the darkness of night.
However, the greater danger was brought between April 25th and April 28th, specifically on April 27th, the day that has seen the farewell of over 300 lives in a single day, along with the injuries of over 3,000 people. April 25. The Storm Prediction Center issued a warning of severe weather conditions for the next 3 days. It was in the evening of April 25th, and the tornadoes have been reported across various states, particularly causing damage in Arkansas. The city of Valonia also declared a tornado emergency. An EF2 tornado struck Valonia, causing the death of 4 people, and an EF3 struck the Hot Springs village area, killing 1 person. All in all, 42 tornadoes were reported on the 25th. April 26th was marked by a high-risk weather day, setting the stage for the catastrophic events that followed. While there were some tornadoes that caused trouble, it paved the way for the volatile conditions that would unleash havoc on the southeast. Overall, the day witnessed 55 tornadoes, but thankfully, no fatalities were reported. April 27. The warning by the Storm Prediction Center was still in play.
Yeah, it looks very serious right now in Tuscaloosa. We've got a big old ball that's coming right to downtown, possibly the university.
The weather went from bad to worse as the day progressed. On this fateful day, the SPC also happened to issue the warning of an increase in the probability of tornadoes to 45% in the area of Mississippi to Huntsville, Arizona. This was a rare issuance and one to be taken into consideration. This was a day that would be a witness to frightening and record 216 tornadoes making touchdowns in a single day. Timeline. Morning, 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. A majority of the tornadoes hitting in the early hours of the day were thankfully weak. At about 5 a.m., one embedded cell led to tornadoes being produced starting with an EF1 striking Berry, Alabama. This was soon followed by an EF3 tornado. As it led further, an MCV, mesoscale convective vortex, went on to produce 25 more tornadoes, and in the process, causing 1 death. The last of these 26 tornadoes produced by the MCV hit at 9:45 a.m. But things were about to heat up. The storm was gaining in strength, and this line of storms caused NOAA weather radio transmitter sites to stop functioning for the remainder of the outbreak. The consequence? Over 1 million people were without power and had no way to be warned of the approaching tornadoes for the rest of the day. Afternoon. Things took a dangerous turn as time passed. Intense supercells of the outbreak developed at this time and headed eastwards. Responding to this high-risk situation, and with the unstable atmosphere, a PDS, particularly dangerous situation tornado watch, was issued at 1:45 p.m. This warning was issued for Alabama, portions of Mississippi, Georgia, and Tennessee. Reports by storm spotters and a camera from WTOK-TV led to a tornado emergency being declared in Neshoba County, Mississippi. This emergency tornado was an EF5 and caused considerable damage in Philadelphia, Mississippi. Picture the scenario of pavements being torn apart from roads, vehicles thrown around, and the tornado literally drilling 2 feet into the ground. A mobile home was strewn apart 300 yards, causing the death of 3 people. But that was not the end of it. In fact, a monstrous disaster was just round the corner. A couple of hours later at 3:40 p.m., the Smithville EF5 tornado made a touchdown and produced damages that would be reminiscent of the end of times. With strong winds of 205 miles per hour, this tornado would tragically take the lives of 23 people. The Smithville tornado caused a lot of property damage too, and it will go down in history as one of the strongest tornadoes to make a touchdown. Another hour passed. It was now 4:45 p.m. And this is when probably the most infamous of the tornadoes appeared on the ABC 3340 Skycam.
Good morning, I'm Jason Simpson live in the ABC 3340 Storm Alert Center. The National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning for Pickens County and Lamar County until 4:15 this morning. But the first thought was we're just going to have...
The touchdown place? Just southwest of the city of Tuscaloosa. At EF4, this tornado was rated lower than the Smithville tornado. But when it comes to damages, it went far beyond the Smithville tornado. The wind speed of 190 miles per hour was also lower compared to the Smithville tornado, and the tornado continued for 80 miles up to the Birmingham metro. That did not stop the death of 64 people from occurring, and a staggering 1,500 people got injured in the process too. Tuscaloosa, at that time, had a population of 89,000. Almost 2% of the entire town was either injured or dead. Frightening to even think of it. That was not all, though. Property damages and losses due to the Tuscaloosa-Birmingham went into the billions. In fact, as of that day, it was the costliest tornado, bringing in damages of over $2.4 billion. This unwanted record would be taken by the Joplin EF5 incident that occurred in May of that year. 6:20 p.m. It was time now for the final EF5 to make a touchdown southwest of Fife, Alabama. This tornado will go on to be known as the Rainsville tornado, going right through the center of the town for a distance of 36 miles. The destruction that it caused was clear to see. Concrete porches were being torn and pulled apart, along with gun safes ripped from homes. Furthermore, there was a school bus shredded down right to its frames. The Rainsville tornado had wind speeds of over 200 miles an hour. While it did cause damages, this was not the last of the tornadoes for the day. The same supercore that was the cause of the Rainsville tornado would further lead to causing more tornadoes. In fact, producing perhaps the strongest tornado in the history of Georgia, covering an area of 48 miles and taking the lives of 20 people and leaving 335 people injured. The day of disaster and destruction was finally coming to an end. As night was welcomed, the storms bid farewell. The damage was clearly done. Let's look quickly at a few numbers. In 2023, tornado expert Thomas P. Grazoulis introduced the Outbreak Intensity Score, OIS, in 2023 to rank tornado outbreaks. The 2011 super outbreak received an OIS of 378, making it the second worst and most violent tornado outbreak in recorded history, according to this score. April 27, with 316 fatalities, became the day with the most tornado-related deaths in the United States since 1925. Alabama was the most severely affected state, with 238 tornado-related deaths. A total of 348 people lost their lives during the outbreak. The 2011 super outbreak holds the record for one of the costliest tornado outbreaks in U.S. history, with total damages reaching $10.2 billion. Could things be any different? Could more lives have been saved? Perhaps. Over 1 million people were without power and had no way to be warned of the approaching tornadoes for the rest of the day. The story could have been very different if they would have perhaps received accurate information in time. Death, damages, destruction. April 27, 2011 will always be remembered for it.